Alright, Shalom, Shalom. This is Brother Samak. Before I do anything, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. So, once again, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that is scattered abroad. And with that, this is Brother Samak. Once again, with another lesson. Lord will, this is edifying. You know, I just came across this video and it's pretty interesting, man. I watched a little bit of it and everything like that. Like not too much, probably like 5 minutes in or so. And well, we'll rewind it back real quick, and I'm just gonna make a couple points. And again, Lord will, this is edifying. Here we go.
Call racism white supremacy. To be sure, a provocative and controversial theory on skin color and oppression. Well, I'm ready. So is this mostly but not exclusively white audience. Let them have it, Doctor. How? Boy, oh boy, you need an escort to get out of your speeches?
No, now, let me just give you a little background. This paper was written approximately in 1969 and presented in 1970. It was written for a group of black psychiatrists who were looking at racism.
Yeah.
It was also written because as a psychiatrist and working in a hospital trying to treat black people and white people, but recognizing that the majority of the problems that black patients had in a psychiatric hospital, when you took a history, you would run smack into racism. So I knew I had to understand racism to help solve the mental health problems of black people. So out of my brain computer, putting in the question, why do we see this behavior? Why have we seen it for hundreds of years? So I thought about these two things, basically two facts, that even though the white population says that people of color are minorities, that it is the white population that is the minority on the planet.
That's the reality you're saying.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
That in spite of the fact that black people, non-white people have heard over and over again, you're genetically inferior because you are non-white. That in reality, white skin is a genetic recessive status, not as said by Francis Welsing. Meaning that if
you and I were to have a baby, the baby would have color, and you make the contribution, and I don't.
That white plus colored. Well, wait a minute. It's not Francis Welsing that is concerned about the disappearance of white. Ben Wattenberg just wrote a book, The Birth Dearth. There have been multiple articles in the newspaper talking about the decline of Western populations.
Yeah, here's the Washington Post, just to name one. We are a depopulation bomb, the withering of the Western world. Here, incidentally, this was the percentage of the West's population in 1900, the turn of this century. About 30%. This is where we'll be less than 10% in the year 2075. Here's where we are about today, 15. So we're not having babies.
So whites are not having babies, and there is the concern about white genetic annihilation. In other words, I look at, this is Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday holiday, and people will say, well, here's a man who talked about love. Yeah. Why was he killed? And I say that the deeper logic is, what if all black and white people and non-white people and white people love? What would happen to white people? White would disappear.
I ain't gonna lie. Well,
Do you see?
white would disappear. That's what she said. But I'll say this, that Martin Luther King was wicked. We all know that, because he even said that he led his people into a burning building, and it's true. Because honestly, here it is that it's funny. Back then we were segregated, and now we're together and everything like that. And we were better off segregated than together, because again, we are two different people, man. That's what our people don't understand. That's why the Lord said, well, that's why the Lord said this real quick. Yeah, Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. Thy God, okay? Because again, we are holy, and the holy means to be what? To be separate. So if you're separate, you're not from these people or these people. No, you are our people stick to our things. This is like a just us, man. You know, we're not supposed to do the things like the heathen do because number one, again, we're not the same as them. We don't for instance too, so-called white people, because they're not white, so-called white people, when they go out in the sun, you know, it affects them, you know, and it doesn't affect us. So it's different things, man. That we are not the same. Even going down to the where we wash our wash ourselves. You know, again, the rumor has it that white people don't really wash themselves the right way. You know, I don't know if that's true or not. Whatever, I'm not saying anything, but I'm not gonna put it past it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like it's crazy. You know, I remember in high school, you know, people, the white people, they use a bar of soap, but we use what? We use a washcloth, and we started laughing about that. It was funny at the time, of course, but really, it's like you got to think. It's like, why do they do this or why do they do that? Like, for instance, so-called white people, I know that they drink milk with their dinner. You know, I'm not knocking them. Hey, maybe black people do it too. I don't know. So-called black people do it too, but yeah, it's just different things. Even going down to seasonings and all that, man, because we are different people. It says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Okay? So this people that the Lord hath chosen are above all the people that are above the face, that are upon the face of the earth. You know? So the Israelites, which is you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, okay, you are whom the people that God has chosen to be a special people, okay, and yeah. Long story short, us being together was actually a lot worse because now you see Jake, man. They're heavily influenced in a lot of different things, you know, following after other gods, and then being a mower transformer, if you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And then you got guys that are just killing, and you got so-called black on black crime. You know, so many different things, man, going on. So it's just madness, and then what tops it all off too is the man not being present in the houses, so it corrupts them, you know, it corrupts the house and everything like that. So we can't even we weren't and that again, that's what Esau Edom, which is the so-called white man, that's what his agenda is, man, or was, to feminize the man and to masculinize the woman, you know, messing the it up, man, you know, and that whole marriage stuff, that's another thing, you know, you being married to the government, and then say you divorce a chick, and or as a matter of fact, nah, because guys don't even initiate majority of the divorces. It's women. Women initiate the what 70% of divorces, man. And again, it's not for what women think. It's actually for financial reasons. So it's like You can't make this up. But again, a woman. Oh, that's another thing. A woman can divorce a man. That's not even in the scriptures either, man. But that's neither here nor there. But I'll say this that um yeah, the divorce and stuff like that, and then it's more in the favor of the woman, you know. So this society that we're living in completely destroys the so-called black man and so-called Hispanic and Native American man. All right. So yeah, man, it's nuts. So yeah, we are definitely better off segregated. But here it is, Jake, always talking about coming together and doing this and doing that. Oh, but what about the so-called white man? You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, like and I remember brothers going over this, man. That like out of all the nations, I guarantee the other nations, if it was Esau, Edom, if it was Ishmael, if it was Moab, if it was any of these nations that were chosen, they would not be like, oh man, but what about so-called black people? What about so-called Hispanic people? What about so-called Native Americans? Like, nah, they would not say that. They were like, oh really? Cool. And they just take it and run with it and be like, all right, you know. But here it is, our people, knowing the state that they're in, knowing that these nations don't give two craps about us, they end up saying, "Oh, but what about the other nations?" Are you kidding me? Like you can't make this stuff up, man. It's insane. Let me finish this up. It says, "The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people." Yeah, man. But again, too, here it is that we looking back, you see Jake, man, they're strong, you know, wearing all the different sports and everything, man. You know, look at the Brazilians, which is our people, you know, got a whole Brazilian jiu-jitsu. That's where does that come from? You know what I'm saying? Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You got all these different other nations, man, 12 tribes. They're going in, man, you know, with these different sports, man. We got track, football, basketball, definitely. You know, we got MMA. You know, we're in there, man. And again, it's crazy, and we're flourishing throughout everything, man. This world would not be moving if it wasn't for the Israelites, man. It wouldn't be, and that's the thing. The same thing happened in Egypt, man. You know, because here it is when we was in Egypt, what happened? You know, Egypt was the place to be, man. You know, and to where they were getting overpopulated and everything like that. You know, so it's like it's the same thing back then is the same thing now, man. You know that, and I can tell you this that yeah, of course that's definitely Esau Edom's fear, man. That will come together and end up trying to take him down. But that's why he wants to control you. That's why he's trying to bring forth the MLTB, man. That's why the MLTB is in the place, man. You know, to where what he's gonna put it in your mind and control you. You know, see what your thoughts are and everything like that, man. So it's like it's crazy. But again, hey, it's all of the Lord, man. At the end of the day, you know, and man. But yeah, I just wanted to get that, man. And then also too, again, to more prove that, how can I say, we are different. Genesis 25 and 24, matter of fact 23, it says, and the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So the one shall be stronger than the other. And sure enough, again, Jacob and Esau, going back to the womb, man. Jacob and Esau. Jacob was stronger than Esau. And again, Jacob is a people and Esau is a people. It said what? Two nations. Okay? Two nations. And one people shall be stronger than the other people. So being that, okay, that this is a certain people that's gonna be stronger than other people. And that's us today, man. You see it. Like I said, going through the sports and everything like that, you know, that's us. And then what's it two different people. And again, they're completely different to where it says this. It says and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Okay? And after that came his brother out. And why didn't they go into get into Jacob? Because he was normal. Okay? So it says he and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. So long story short, that taking of the heel is symbolic, man, for the taking down of Esau Edom's rulership, man. Okay. And then it says, this is getting into the characteristics. It says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. Is so yeah, and again, a cunning hunter and a man of the field. What race of people on this earth right now love hunting and love being in the field, being outside, the outdoors, and everything like that, woods and everything, camouflage. you know, it's this the so-called white man. So it's two different people, man. It's crazy. So yeah, dang right, man. And then I forget what the other things, but um, us being overpopulated. Look at what's it? The so-called Hispanics alone, man, overpopulate the whole earth, man. So many of them, they keep making babies. And again, hey, what does Ephraim mean, man? Ephraim means fruitful, you know, or be fruitful and multiply, man. That's what Ephraim means, man. So being fruitful, and that's the what the so-called Puerto Ricans, man. Okay, you can't tell me that we're not the people, man, because it's clear, it's evident. You know, we fit these curses, everything according to the Bible, everything to the T. But all right.
White people love. What would happen to white people? White would disappear. You see, just mix all of the people on the planet up together.
And that's another thing. Salakia, because here it is. She's talking about if they end up having a kid together, he's still like the kid will still end up being an Edomite, man. Will still end up being a so-called white man, because it automatically goes back to the father, man. That's Numbers 1:18. Okay, declare the pedigrees after the house of their father. So, that's what it is, roughly paraphrasing. Okay, but again, how do you destroy a nation? You what? You get rid of the men, and then keep the women. So when you keep the women and get rid of the men, because the man carries the seed, that's what it is, man. So that's the only way you can destroy a nation, you know. But yeah,
Race didn't matter, or if color didn't matter, it follows with the jet plane.
No, I'm not saying if it didn't matter. I'm saying that indeed, if there was a mingling of all of the people,
That's what I'm
because the
saying.
ability. Okay, fine.
Absence of prejudice.
The ability. No, wait. Don't confuse what I'm saying.
At this point, Dr. Frances Cress has done put nearly all information that needed to be said. Phil Donahue has interrupted her point so many times it has become obvious, and so by using science to explain White's greatest fear, she makes sure that her points don't get confused.
I'm saying that if we mixed all of the people presently on the planet, stirred them up,
The white freckle-faced people would be gone.
Genetic recessive status would disappear. And that if I did a survey and everybody didn't have to, face anybody, if I said how many people who are white want their children to be white, want their grandchildren to be white, want their great-grandchildren to be white, want their great-great-grandchildren to be white. And I've gone all over the country in England and asked this question.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the children and the generations to remain white.
Yeah.
If you do, then you have to do something to make sure that that happens. And I say that what the thing is that is done, and particularly in relationship to black non-whites, because we have the greatest genetic potential to cause white genetic annihilation.
Because you're the blackest.
Because we, right.
The most color.
Right, we have this ability to produce melanin pigment. We have more of it than anybody else. And so the most pressure is on black people. As a matter of fact, the black people learn, all non-white people over the world learn. If you're black, stay back. If you're yellow, you're brown, stick around. If you're yellow, mellow, white, right. I can go to England and the people can just say the same thing. Doesn't matter whether if you go to the Philippines. Because
I ain't gonna lie. The first time I heard that was actually recent. If you're back, stay back. If you're yellow, I forget, but if you're right, just right, or something like that. I'm like, what? If you're brown, stay around. Yeah, I was like, what? Crazy.
there has been a confrontation of brown with white. Everybody knows the more pigment you have, the more pressure that is on you.
Yeah.
But they didn't understand why. I said
Yeah.
the why is for the purpose of white
Right.
genetic survival.
All right.
At this point, you've already noticed a pattern on Donahue's interruption. However, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing has completely stunned the audience using her prediction from the 70s and given real-life examples to show how big the pigmentation war is.
And you're saying that blacks have no similar hidden subconscious anxiety
Not about
their
disappearance.
blackness being undermined by the presence
No,
of white.
we don't have
You
that
don't.
fear, and I think that this is something that is not understood. You
See.
see, in other words, if I don't worry about, as a matter of fact, under white supremacy, the non-white people try to get lighter. You see, because the less pigment
By
you have,
co-opting the
the
values
less
of
threat you are to
Right.
white, and so the greater opportunity that you have.
Yeah. The mass inability of whites to live and attend school in the presence of non-whites, manifested by the patterns of black and white housing and education throughout this country, and indeed throughout the world, is seen, according to your thesis, in terms of the color confrontation thesis, as the apparent total psychological discomfort experienced by whites in situations in which they must daily face their color inadequacy when they confront their neighbors of color. You go on
See,
to...
I predicted. Look, I wrote that in 1970. I said you cannot have integrated housing. You cannot have integrated schools.
You still believe in that?
The evidence. I always look at the evidence. If Mr. Black and Mr. White live next door to each other, they have the same job, the same income, the same car, the same furniture.
Yeah.
They both walk out of the house in the morning. Good morning, Mr. Black. Good morning, Mr. White.
Yeah.
But Mr. White is still looking, but you've got something that I don't have.
You're saying he's saying that
He's
subconsciously.
saying, right.
Now, wait a minute. All right, we'll give you a chance in just a moment.
Wait a minute.
Now, wait a minute.
Let's look at
They're nice people. You're really going to
Wonderful
like them, I
people.
promise you.
Let's
Once
look
in
at
a while, a couple of them stop before they come up here, and you got
But
to keep an eye on
let's
them.
look at this. You know,
Go ahead, look at it.
very fortunately.
Now, let me just understand this. See, the reason they're groaning is, that's an awful bad rap to take. Let me just, arrogantly try and reword what I think you're saying. Now, don't get crazy. Let me say.
Please, I'm a
Mr.
psychiatrist.
White is looking at Mr. Black, and he's not consciously saying, don't you
Not
dare.
consciously.
So it is under him.
Not consciously. I mean, we could go on for 3 hours. Not
No.
consciously.
All right. All right.
Okay. I am saying that this behavior is at the subconscious level, and there's a lot of evidence. For example, just on Saturday, the New York Times had an article talking about the percentage of people who want a tan. 66%. I have the article if anybody wants to look at it later. 66% of
I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna say something before because now I'll say this. Now times are really, really, really different, man. Even from back then, not too long ago. Like again, it's 2024 right now. Back in the 70s, 80s, or whatever, you know, it's a lot. It's way different. Even in the 2000s, you know, it's still different. A lot, way different, man. You got before it was blacks. Well, I could still argue today it's still the kind of the same. Blacks wanting to be whites, but now you see a lot of whites wanting to be black. It's like, dang, man. Nobody wants to be their own. You know, Jake want to be everybody but themselves. And the same thing with Esau Edom, man. The culture vulture, man. He don't like the people, but he dagged on. He loved their food though. You know. So it's like, come on, man. Why can't we just be ourselves, man? You know what's wrong again? And here it is. From all our lives, we've been taught that we were our pigmentation, not pigmentation, our yeah, our skin, you know, is a curse or whatever, man. You know that we didn't. It was a curse to be so called black. You know, and that's a funny thing because that's in the curses too. You know, what's that? Deuteronomy 28:15. Let me see. On down, of course, but I'm gonna try to get. Let me see. No, 65. Nope. Dang, what is it? Byword. Oops. Slock, bear with me. I'm trying to find it. I might just end up typing it in. Yeah, I'm typing in. There it is. 20 and 37. Come. Oh, well, I was right there. So it says, Deuteronomy 28 and 37, it says, and thou shalt become an astonishment and a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. Okay, and that's one of the curses, man. You know, we got bywords, you know, nigga, spick, you know, akata, you know, that's what the Africans, those Africans be saying, you know. Um, which means cotton picker. Um, yeah, that's reading was the point. Let me see in the other translations real quick. NLT. Let me see what it says in NLT. It says, you will become an object of horror, ridicule, and mockery among all the nations to which the Lord sends you. And that's really what it is, man. Because here it is, we were talked about and everything like that, and we're still talked about. You know, we are the head of that Mo and Transformer deal, man. You know, and it's a shame, man, because again, The scriptures say, well, let me get it. Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 28. It says, yep. It says, they are waxed fat, they shine. Yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. And it says, they judge not the cause of the featherless, slacking of the fatherless. It says, yet they propose, slacking, yet they prosper, and they right, in the right of the needy do they judge not. Because honestly, the Jake in a whole, man, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man, you're more wicked than the wicked, man. And again, when we do win, and that's again, I'll say this, that we are good at a lot of things, as a people, but that's the thing. It could be good at anything, whether that being bad or good at being whatever, man. But I'll say this, man, our people are really wicked, man, when it comes to a lot of things, you know? And it's like crazy, man. But let me read it again. Verse 37 and the NLT again. It says, you will become an object of horror. Okay? People look at you and be afraid of you. It says ridicule and mockery among all nations to which the Lord sends you. Because all in all, we are in the curses. Whether you go to Hawaii, you go to Hawaii. Oh man, that's another thing. I think it was an article or something like that that happened. It was something happened. There's this Judite woman, which is a so-called black woman. She went to somewhere, I think Bahamas or something like that, and yeah, she instantly got kicked out and banned, you know, because she was probably acting crazy, man, you know, or no, she did something that she didn't know that it was some, I forgot what it was, but yeah, it's like it's just that, man. Even you go outside of the country and you still looked at as crazy because they said that they have like stereotypes. They have they look at you and okay, this is you got to watch out for this guy, and especially this, like it's a, I feel like it's a curse to have a beard on your face, man. I remember way back when, oh man, it was the worst, man. Especially when I first started coming into this, like I was saying like shh, when I just fresh out of high school, when I was out of high school and I was found the lost arts commandments, especially the again the beard and everything like that, man, yo, I was getting all types of crazy stuff coming at me, man. Why don't you shave your beard and everything like that, and I, even to where my boss even said I look intimidating. like like what? It's a curse to have your. It's a sad because again, it's a curse to have a beard on your face. You know. But here it is. Esau Edom again. You gotta shave your beard and which is a heathen custom, by the way. They having shaven beard and stuff like that. That is not of us. That is not us at all. You know. But yeah, man, it's crazy.
And white adults think they look better with a tan.
I'm gonna listen to a little bit more and see what's up, and then come to a close.
And 70% of white adolescents think they look better with a tan. What do white people? Oh, I look so pale. Now, this is not something that Francis Welsing is putting on people. White females even say their ideal mate is who? Tall, dark, and handsome.
Damn. I ain't gonna lie, man. Yeah, I'll say this. I think it was up to Hart said that too. As far as like back then, man. You know, you think Jake wasn't going after these white women, man? Nah, man, you better shoot. I know I could already see brothers going after white women, man. You know, little snow buddies, man. Like I know for a fact, man. And again, I say this. I'm sure they the Edomite woman definitely be hoping too that they come after her or them, man.
Now, Phil, I mean,
Wait a minute, just a minute.
Donahue interrupts her again with a joke.
That whites do indeed desire to have colored skin can be seen by anyone at the very first signs of spring or summer, when they begin to strip off their clothes as many pieces as the law will allow, often permitting their skins to be burned severely in an attempt to add some color to their white, pale, colorless bodies, rendering themselves vulnerable to the dreaded skin cancer in the process. Most cosmetics also are seen as an attempt to add color to their skin. Such coloring, makeup,
And that's even today, man. Because it's like you could see like a lot of people, again, melanin and everything like that, trying to have melanin. But again, the Lord cursed Esau, man. Oh, sorry, I'll go back and actually say that's the curse that Cain was the Lord gave Cain, man. You know, gave him no pigmentation to where you could spot him from a mile away and know that this person was Cain. And this is okay, Cain, which is Esau, Edom, okay? So that's what it is, man. You know, they were cursed as well. Cain was cursed as well with his no pigmentation, man, no nothing. So it's like crazy, man. That to where again all the things that are supposed to help you, like for instance, the sun gives us vitamin D, but yet so-called white people they can't. It's not so, man. It goes against them. A lot of the thing. That's why again we are different. We are completely different. You know, it's insane how we as a people are really trying to um be one and one or be together with these people when we're above them. You know, we can't do the same things that they do. They can't do the same things we do. You know, it's impossible. Look at how is it that for instance that Jake in a hole. Let me get a couple more scriptures to be honest, but Jake in a hole. Uh, they they're natural born dancers, man. They're natural born dancers. They're natural born. If you have a sport, naturally, man. If there's a sport, Jake will learn it and be amazing at it off rip, man. And this is why. Matthew chapter 5 and verse. Who do you think this is? And this isn't everybody. I hate yo. I forget who said this, but I think it was Edomite that said this, and I was like, that's not talking about you, man. They ain't talking about you, man. All right, this is Matthew chapter 5 verse 13. It says, "Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its if the salt have lost his savor, wherewithal shall it be salted? It is thence good for nothing but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is not set, it's like a city that is set on an hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Right? Because again, man, the light, man, and I'll put it on another scale, on a better scale, man. This is really talking about the elect too, because in that day, you know, they're gonna be a light, man. You know, scriptures say wisdom maketh his face to shine, you know, because in these last days to come, definitely believe, man, that the men of the Lord are gonna be what, like the scriptures say, I shall make a man more precious than fine gold. So it's like, really, this is really, you know, if you really understand the scriptures, you will then realize that this is really talking about the men of the Lord, man. You know, but on another scale though too, it's also it also can rely to uh, 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 Jake in the whole, man, and Israel in the whole, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because anything we do, we shine at, you know. So we bring flavor to certain things, man. You know, but Esau Edom, you think, man, talking about salt, he don't even season his food, man. Come on, you know. Um, it says, "Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven." Yeah, man. And that's the thing. That's, hey, the light's gonna shine, man, regardless. You know, I say this, even when you're at your job, you could try, well, I'll say is definitely try your hardest to you know, keep a low profile and everything like that. Again, be on your Clark Kent type stuff, you know. And you know, but of course, hey, people gonna know, man, especially if you're quiet, you know, you're quiet and everything like that. And I'll tell you this, at the plantation, people always want me to talk, and I'm like, I just want to be alone, you know. And I could say that's majority of brothers, man. I'm sure, you know, just being alone, man, not really being around people like that, you know. So yeah, being a soldier, and a soldier it was solo, man, you know. But uh but yeah, that's pretty much the point as far as the soul of the earth, man. So our people are different. There's no way that we can come together and everything like that. It's impossible. It is impossible. You know, we can't come in agreement with anything at all. Amos 3:3 can apply to that too, because you know, we think of a different thing and they think of a different thing. Majority of so-called white people, or Edomites, they are they're atheists. Okay, I guarantee when you go into any of the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American houses, you know, you'll see that they believe in a higher power. They believe in God. They believe in everything like that. So like, we are spiritual, you know. We are very spiritual people, man. You can see it, you know. Well, that's another reason why we're different. You know, there's so many reasons why we're different and we cannot be together. It's impossible, you know. And if we are together, it just makes a lot of things worse, as you can see. You know, we're getting worse and worse. This world is getting worse and worse, and that's why the Lord needs to come back, man. That's why the Lord's gonna come back and destroy this place, you know. But yeah, so with that, I pray that you've been edified. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that is scattered abroad. And with that, I say, Shalom.